Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we're doing a special edition of the Spotlight on the Community Show from San Diego County Sheriff's headquarters here in San Diego, right next to Bud's Louisiana Cafe. I was told I need to put that in as maybe a sponsor of our show down there. We are the longest-running community podcast in the nation in our 18th year, sponsored by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County. Thrilled to have on the air with us today is Deputy Ian Crawford. He's a tactical flight officer for ASTREA, aerial support to regional enforcement agencies. How you doing, Ian?
Hey, good morning, Drew.
How long have you been with the Sheriff's Department?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, and in the same role?
Year and a half at ASTREA, which is our air unit.
Right.
14 years total in law enforcement.
Oh, is that right? What got you into ASTREA?
I joined the Sheriff's Department after being a cop for 12 years with the goal of getting into our air unit. And I was very fortunate. I put in for the Sheriff's Department, did a year in patrol, and then put in for our air unit. Was very fortunate to be selected, and it's been fantastic ever since.
So what type of flying background do you have, or did you learn on the job?
So my current role is a tactical flight officer.
Okay.
So give you a little background on our unit.
Please.
We are we're the air unit for the Sheriff's Office. And we don't just support the Sheriff's Office, we actually support all agencies here in San Diego County. So we're very fortunate. We get to work with every law enforcement agency here in the county of San Diego. Anyone who asks for our help, we support them. When you are selected for this position, you are brought on as a tactical flight officer. So on our patrol ships, they are flown by a deputy sheriff pilot, and then there's a tactical flight officer, which is what I am. That's the guy who's working the cameras, working the radios, coordinating with the guys on the ground. And after several years of being a TFO, they will send you through flight school, teach you to become a pilot, and then you come back to the unit as a pilot. So all of our pilots have a background as a TFO. All TFOs are expected to ultimately become a pilot.
And so that is going to be your trajectory, correct?
Yes.
And how long will that take?
Hopefully I'll be going to flight school early next year.
Right, exactly. And so with it, you are certainly now working with all these agencies. Do you go outside their region at all?
We do support out-of-county mutual aid request. It is less frequent. We are very busy here in the county. So there's plenty of work for us. There's no shortage of work to be done. But we do support requests. I've personally flown missions out of county for requests that we've had, and we're very fortunate that we're able to support that.
So how many helicopters or whatever, or ASTREAs, whatever you call them, do you have?
Currently, our fleet is 8. We have 8 aircraft, different mission profiles, different capabilities, but it can essentially be divided. Half of them are for patrol, half of them are for fire and rescue.
Right. Would you say of the 8, how many of them are up on any day?
So we work 365. We staff helicopters every day. We have a day shift and a night shift for patrol. For the roughly 6 months of San Diego County's fire season, we staff 2 fire helicopters, and then in the non-fire season, we're staffing 1 fire rescue airship.
Yeah, what do the fire helicopters do? Are they doing reconnaissance? Are they actually dropping stuff?
Yeah, so they are equipped with tanks that can drop water.
Okay.
So we're pretty unique in several ways, but one of them is we actually have CAL FIRE firefighters and paramedics that work as crew on our fire aircraft. So they're flown by a deputy sheriff pilot, and we have a crew anywhere from 3 to 5 firefighters, depending on the mission, and they go out. And so we're very fire prone here in San Diego County.
Okay.
We're very fortunate that we have aircraft to help combat that. We're part of the initial attack, and so when the call goes out, our guys launch, and they're pulling water. They're dropping that hopefully within minutes of that fire starting.
Right. So have we increased the fire capacity of ASTREA due to the fires we had in 2003 and 2007?
That's exactly it. Our fire program was in response to that. There were, unfortunately, people that lost their life. There was a tremendous amount of property damage.
Absolutely.
And so that was one of the reasons that our fire program was started.
Right, absolutely. We're chatting with Deputy Ian Crawford. He's a tactical flight officer for ASTREA, aerial support to regional enforcement agencies. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are remote from San Diego County Sheriff's headquarters. We are the longest-running community podcast in the nation, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing great things in San Diego County. So let's back up. You have 14 years in the Sheriff's Department, right?
14 years total in law enforcement,
okay.
2.5 with the Sheriff's Office.
Where did you get involved in your family? Was in law enforcement? What got you excited about being in law enforcement? And thank you for your service.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah.
I've never made any, I've never shied away from telling people I did this job because I thought it was fun.
Right.
On my first interview when I applied to be a peace officer, I said, this sounds like a fun job. And that's exactly it. My career has been so fun. I've been very fortunate to work a lot of great assignments. And this is, now that I'm at ASTREA, this is kind of the pinnacle for me. I'm still, you can see me, I'm still a cop, and so I get to be half a cop, but I also fly around in helicopters. And we go to the most dangerous, most exciting, most action-packed calls that you can guess. And that's what we do for a job, and we're the ones who get to go to all those.
When you're not flying and they need extra people on the ground, will you take that role too, or not really?
No.
Okay, so
we are very busy in our unit,
Gotcha.
And we are dedicated to the aircraft. So
right.
We are here to respond to calls as they come in, and it happens continuously every day.
So how much do you work with air traffic controllers? You got to be working with them all the time.
Yeah.
All the small airports in town.
Yeah, so we're actually based out of an airfield in El Cajon, which is Gillespie Field.
Sure.
So we work out of an airport. So every call that we go to, we jump on with the tower, and we have to request permission to launch just like every other aircraft. We're not special in the air. They know that we have a job to do. We're not flying for recreation. But that being said, there's a system in place, and we have to abide by all air traffic control rules and regulations, and it depends on the airspace we're working in. So we cover a huge area, over 4,200 square miles here in San Diego County. Lots of airports, lots of air traffic, and so we're communicating with them constantly.
Right. Now, do you fly with the same person all the time, or it just varies?
It does vary. We typically, depending on the shift that you're working,
right.
And what your assignment is, you tend to be partnered with someone for maybe 4 or 6 months, but we all switch around.
Gotcha.
Guys don't want to work at night forever. Positions change. It depends. Are you flying patrol or fire? So we work with each other.
So now you fly out of Gillespie Field. Do the others, where do they fly out of?
So our main base is out of Gillespie Field,
Okay.
right there in El Cajon, which
Right.
is here in San Diego.
Right.
But we also have a helipad and refueling stations in San Marcos, Fallbrook, Borrego Springs. And those are strategically placed throughout the county because of how big our county is and where we have to fly. So we have sites that we can land.
Right. Talk about the different missions of ASTREA.
Yeah. So I kind of touched on it earlier,
right.
that it can essentially be divided onto the patrol and
right.
the fire side, but we support law enforcement support. So any agency that requests help, that would be vehicle pursuit, burglary in progress, crime in progress, subject with a weapon, vehicle pursuit, search and rescue. That's huge. San Diego County is filled with mountains, trails, lots of people who do recreational stuff, and with that comes lost hikers, people that get injured. So search and rescue is some of our bread and butter. This is what we do. This is why we are here. We can get to places that a vehicle, an off-road vehicle cannot. And so we are oftentimes the first person to go find those people, and we're the ones who can rescue them. We do aerial fire suppression. We talked about that. The devastating fires that we had in both 2003, 2007. We combat that now with our fire ships that are equipped to drop water. We do hoist rescues. Our fire ships are equipped with hoists that have cable on it, so we can actually lower down a rescue specialist for people that are severely injured, package them, provide them with advanced life support, and pull them out of these areas that otherwise they would be stuck. Civil emergencies, transportation flights, helping out investigators for flights, in the course of their investigations, homicides, et cetera. We do long line missions for loads that need to be attached outside of the helicopter to move them from one place to another, and out-of-county mutual aid support.
You know, I was talking to Sheriff Martinez about this. As a matter of fact, every time we have somebody in law enforcement, I'm always amazed at how well you folks work together with the other first responders. And San Diego has a reputation on this. I think when I was chatting with Sheriff Gore about this, you guys work well with the police department, with paramedics, with fire, military if you need to, and all that. Just talk about how important that is.
Yeah. It's built into the culture here in San Diego, and so we are very fortunate. I think one of the reasons is we have a regional police academy. So if you're the sheriff's office, if you're the San Diego PD, if you are any of our agencies that work here in San Diego County, we're going to the same police academy. So right from the get-go, we are training and working with each other. There's no rivalry, for lack of a better word. We work together fantastic. And at the end of the day, we end up working with these cops all the time. So it doesn't matter what agency. If there's another cop who's in a fight or an emergency going on, we go help each other. And one of the great things about our unit is we are not just limited here to the sheriff's office. We do support all unincorporated areas, all contract cities. But if you are any agency here in San Diego County and you ask for help, we will send a helicopter. We will go help you. We will assist you.
Right. How much training do you do with all the different agencies and training missions just to make sure you guys are up to date on the latest and the greatest and so forth?
Yeah. That is a good question. I would say it probably starts at the police academy, but you can't teach everything at the academy. A lot of stuff is kind of on the job.
Right.
Once you leave the 6 months of the academy, you have field training for a reason. That's how you learn. So I would say that a lot of that training would probably come on the job the first time a peace officer is experiencing a vehicle pursuit, burglary in progress, subject with a gun, some type of huge emergency that's going on that there necessitates a helicopter being called, and we will assist them. That's one of our roles too as a tactical flight officer. When I go on scene, it's my job to help manage what is going on. So when there's, I don't want to say chaos, but when there's a critical incident that's occurring, let's say it's a large fight, shooting, subject with a weapon, someone fleeing from law enforcement, it's my job to help. Okay, let's put a person over here. Let's send someone over to this street. Let's, kind of bringing a sense of calm to the scene, managing that so that we can effectively apprehend a fleeing suspect, combat whatever emergency is going on, or for a search and rescue operation, ultimately rescue that person who's in need of help.
So you're doing it all from the sky, correct?
Yes.
So you're out there, you're looking at this, chessboard, so to speak, and then you're going to direct someone to First and Main. I'm making up names of streets over here, and then someone's got to be over here at the McDonald's, and someone needs to be over here at Target. Make sure you shut down this street over here.
That's exactly it.
My goodness, that is like directing a movie, for God's sake, but a very serious movie, to say the least. Talk a little bit about knowing, your GPS coordinates and how important that is.
Yeah, so I would say because of the search and rescue operations that we do, we consistently get called out for people who have become lost. And I'm a big outdoors guy. I love being outdoors. On my weekends, I'm out hiking. I'm out doing things that we have. We're super fortunate here in San Diego County to have hiking trails and deserts, mountains, beaches. But what I would ask people is know how to access your location. And so one of the things that we have now, we're all carrying around a phone. So if it's an iPhone, if it's an Android, everyone's got a Compass app. And if you were to pull out your Compass app right now, and you open up your application, you can look, it'll give you your exact GPS coordinates. Why is that important? When you call 911 and you are out lost in the mountains, and I am the one who has to come find you, we sometimes are given a very large area, a radius of hundreds or thousands of meters. And if you can provide GPS coordinates, I can fly exactly where you are. I can, your GPS coordinate is slightly different than my GPS coordinate, even across this table. It's that accurate. So I would say if you're going to go do something outdoors, be prepared, know how to access your GPS position. And if it's not on your cell phone, they make devices, but it could actually save your life.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
No, there's no question about it. We're chatting again with Deputy Ian Crawford. He is the Tactical Flight Officer for ASTREA, part of the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. I'm Drew Schlosberg, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Talk about the Auto Helo Phone Number. Why is that so important?
Yeah, so one of the jobs that we do, whether we're looking for a lost child or someone who's walked away with Alzheimer's or a fleeing suspect, we do PA announcements. So everyone who's in here in San Diego has probably heard the helicopter over their house at some point saying something. One of the things that we are often told is, hey, I can't hear what they're saying. And so sometimes if you're not directly underneath or you're not right next to where that PA announcement's going off, it's difficult to hear. So what I want everyone to know is we have an application that will give you that information. If you call or text 858-866-HELO, it will tell you what the helicopter's saying. So you can call, you could pull out your phone right now and you can just text hello and it'll tell you, hey, this is the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. We're not currently working a call. But if there is a call going on, it'll give you that full description of that child that's missing. It'll give you the description of the person with dementia who's walked away and what they're wearing so that you can be on the lookout for them. And it's immensely helpful for the public. So I'd say, hey, store it in your phone and keep that. And the next time the helicopter, and it saves you from having to hear my voice say that thing over and over and over. So yeah, give it a try.
Where I live in San Diego County is right by Los Penasquitos Canyon. And there's a lot of helicopters up there because there's people getting lost or getting, and you're right. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to put that in my phone. Absolutely. And I'll be able to tell people I know exactly what Ian is saying. Who knows if it's Ian overhead or not in that aspect. I'm sure you got a million stories that you can talk about that just warms your heart about what you've been doing, in the job since you've been doing this. Is there one that comes to mind that just jumps right out at you?
Well, I'll tell you this. I love being a cop, and I love catching bad guys. And so I think I touched on that earlier. I have never shied away from just saying I like doing the fun stuff. But as great as it is to be the person finding that suspect who's hiding or running, it's always the people that you help. Those are the calls that stand out. And so, if you want a specific one from my time in ASTREA, it would be the guy that we found who was so weak. He was out in the mountains and lost, had been there for 3 days. And my partner was the one who actually saw him from the air. And we were at night, so we're flying under night vision goggles and performed an off-field landing in this very rough terrain and hiking to that person and seeing that person kind of reach out with his lips all crusted over, asking for help and being the person to go find him and pull him out of that area. Yeah, that stands out. It's the rescues like that. Those are the things that stand out in my mind when you are the reason that someone gets to go home, go back to their family, and keep enjoying life.
Right. What are some of the big challenges you guys had today? meaning some of the training? Is there enough people that want to do what you want to do? Is there a shortage of folks that want to be tactical flight officers?
Yeah, I would say that one of the challenges we face is we're fortunate that there's a lot of people that think flying in helicopters is cool.
Right.
And so we have that. It is a benefit. And so we do like to, not to brag, but we're proud of the work that we do. We have people that want to come do this. What I would say is it's difficult. And so the training requirements, the time that it takes to get to be a helicopter pilot who's capable of flying all of our aircraft anywhere in the county, doing any type of mission, it takes a long time. If you were to start right now, after going through an academy, being a deputy sheriff, doing your time out in the field, and then getting selected for our unit, it'll take another 8 years before you are fully qualified to be flying around, dropping water on fires. And so with that, I look towards the future. I worry about what is the succession planning of our unit. We have the senior members of our unit have combined just tens of thousands of hours of flight time, and they are going to retire someday, probably soon. And so, and rightfully so, they've had a long career of doing great work, and they deserve to have that enjoy retirement. But with that comes this loss of experience. You know, we have over 100 mountain peaks here in San Diego County. These guys have been to every one of them. They know every landing spot. They know what the winds are doing at what time, at what area. They know where people get lost on the trails. And when those guys retire, that information goes with them. So how do we solve that problem? It starts now. Like, we have to plan for the person now who's going to replace them to get to that spot in 8 years. So what do we need? We need great quality applicants, okay? And so one of the misconceptions with our unit is that you need prior flight experience. You do not. It's one of the wonderful things about our unit. We will teach you how to be a tactical flight officer. They will send you through flight school. They will pay for it. They will teach you to be a pilot. They will show you how to do this work that we do. And you just have to join the sheriff's office and be a deputy. And it's fantastic. So it's a wonderful opportunity. I'm passionate about helicopters. I like this. But if you are listening right now and you have any interest in aviation, check out what we do. Go to the sheriff's office, see what it is. It's a wonderful career.
Yeah, one of the things that we always talk about on our show, and we talked to, I think, Sheriff Martinez about it as well, is that you folks have 170 different jobs, maybe more than that in the sheriff's department. And there is some type of job for almost anybody that is interested in pick a topic to work for the sheriff's department. The diversity of those jobs. Talk about that. Yeah.
I've had the benefit of teaching a lot of youth that are interested in law enforcement. And so now, I'm at the point where guys that I was helping 10 years ago, now they're cops on their own. Not just with our agency, but other agencies here in the county and elsewhere throughout the country. And it's so cool to just see these guys getting into law enforcement. It's such a fantastic career. And so what I always would tell people is it doesn't matter what it is that you're interested in, but be interested in something. If you want to work homicide, you want to be SWAT, you want to go work bomb arson, you want to fly helicopters, you want to do search and rescue, there is a job that will appeal to you, and they will teach you how to do it. And so I'm a big believer that if you are good at what you do, you tend to enjoy it. And so find what you enjoy, and you will inevitably be good. And by being good, you'll enjoy it. And it's kind of this reciprocal system where you just are loving what you do. And I'm telling you, Drew, I cannot believe that they pay me to go fly in helicopters and get to do the work that we do.
No, I think that's fantastic. We're chatting again with Deputy Ian Crawford, Tactical Flight Officer for ASTREA, the Aerial Support to Regional Enforcement Agency with the San Diego County Sheriffs. We're broadcasting a special edition of our Spotlight on the Community show from the Sheriff's headquarters. Spotlight on the Community is the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by the fine folks of Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing great things in San Diego County. So, when you're out there, something has just exploded, not literally, maybe literally, and now you're the scene is going crazy, and it's obviously you've got to be calm as can be. You're sort of direct what's going on. Do civilians on the ground help you at all?
Yes, absolutely. It's I am consistently blown away with how great our community is with what they do for us. We rely on the community so much, especially in our unit. We are a helicopter. We have a vantage point that other people don't. We have $1 million, no exaggeration, $1 million worth of equipment to help find people on our helicopter. We still find people because of members of the community. Right. We give out PAs because we're asking people, hey, look around you. Do you see this missing kid that we're out here for? Do you see that person who's walked away from the dementia facility? Have you seen this bad guy who just committed an armed robbery? And we get calls, and that is how we find people. So when we're on scene, we'll have people pointing in the direction that they saw the guy running.
Wow.
And it helps us immensely. It's so wonderful. So it's a great opportunity, kind of going back to that Auto Helo app. Take the minute to send the text message or call in and get the description. You may be the reason that we go find that person, whether it's a bad guy or a lost kid. You can help us out. But yeah, the community is wonderful, and we're very fortunate to work in San Diego County. We have a lot of support. I think guys know that we are up there trying to help them. And so I've lived in San Diego County my whole life, and it's fun to work here, and people should ask themselves if their kid went missing, if their loved one went missing, if their car was stolen, if someone broke into their house, what is the resources and response that you want? And we are one of them. And I'd like to think we're pretty good at what we do.
One of the things when we talk to folks like you, Ian, or police department personnel, and I always ask the question, what can civilians do to make their lives easier? Like, how about, lock your door? How about that for a concept? Or, have the keys out when you go into your car in the mall and all. I mean, some of the simple stuff in this aspect. It always amazes me how people, they're walking around with their heads in the sky, no pun intended, in this aspect of it. That's another way people can help you, is trying to be safe themselves, correct? Yeah,
just, be aware of your surroundings. I can't tell you the amount of times that, kind of going back to your point, simple stuff, lock your doors, be aware of what's going on around you. But when there's a helicopter doing orbits right above your head and there's a bunch of cops chasing a guy, maybe that's not the time to stop and check out what's going on and, just have a little bit of common sense and be aware of what's going on.
Right, exactly. What can our listeners do to continue to support the great work that you do and your colleagues at the Sheriff's Department?
Yeah, I would say if there's a call that we have helped out with, if there's something that we have done, let our command know. Let the people know. Let your friends and community know. I brought in some stats actually. Just last night I pulled this up. This is just some of the work that we did last year. Okay, in 2023, we responded to 5,300 radio calls. So over 5,000 radio calls just for our unit. We did 241 traffic pursuits. We found 121 people using our infrared camera. We located 391 persons. 391. It's a lot of people. We assisted with 490 apprehensions of suspects. We did 281 medical rescues, 106 hoist rescues. We responded to 216 fires, and we did 955 water drops. And so it's not everyone in San Diego County who is affected, but there are people that we directly affected in a positive way through that. And what I would say is talk to your friends, talk to your family. When you see that helicopter going overhead, when you see us working a call, know that we are here working for you, for the community of San Diego and for the cops on the ground, And so I would just say, continue to be aware that we are supporting you and support us, Let the sheriff know. Call him and just say, hey, I'm thankful that we have a unit like ASTREA who's helping us out.
Well, I think what's really important about that, too, we say it all the time on our Spotlight show, so you may have done X amount of rescues and all that. Well, that's one person times their family, times their cousins, times their aunts, their uncles, and all that. So that one person is, and you've impacted 100 people, or whatever the case may be, toward all of those. So your impact is great. You're so valued by us folks here at Cloudcast Media. We cannot talk enough about the great work that you do personally, Ian, and your colleagues, and we're just honored to be able to shout out the great work you do.
Well, thank you, Drew. Thanks for the support.
Absolutely. We've been chatting with Deputy Ian Crawford. He's a tactical flight officer for ASTREA, the aerial support to regional enforcement agencies. We're here doing a special remote of the Spotlight on the Community Show at the San Diego County Sheriff's Headquarters. I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media, and the Spotlight on the Community Show brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.